Yeah, no, but that's assuming. So that's best case scenario, right? So, but what's most likely going to happen is once we hit this period of like, it's not a lockdown, but there's a lot of uh, uh, civil freedoms that are taken away, like our ability
Mm,
to just party.
Oh,
You know,
are
yeah,
we? Oh, okay. I thought we were gonna talk about the
the what?
the
M
financial.
word.
Yeah, no, like
The what word?
that's like doomsday, like, like
What word?
worst case scenario for me is not really, because I'm in the same boat with Mona. I think, human beings were really resilient, like, entities ba na,
Yeah,
okay, so this virus like destroys our system. We'll just come up with a new system and we'll carry on.
yeah.
People will die along the way, but as human beings, that we've done that throughout time, Jude. Now we just get out of it one way or another.
Yeah, so
Yeah, the
it's the
species.
it's sorry, it's a transition that's murag. That's
Yeah.
that's problematic, diba? So like
Yeah,
Well,
my,
just
my
yeah.
concern for it is it becomes like 9/11 all over again. So, after, if you we've already spoken about this, but after 9/11, it just became a norm that you get sexually harassed in the airport. That's just normal now. They just touch your balls.
Yeah, yeah,
You know what I
and I
mean?
mean
Like,
the transition is not particularly nice. I mean, like if you think about fall of the Roman Empire and then the Renaissance, that's 1,000 years. Like 1,000 years of dark ages. Not nice.
yeah,
Like that's
not
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 nice,
not
man.
fun.
we don't. Yeah, we don't want to go through that, right? I think there is a solution. I mean, I've been thinking about this for quite some time. I think there is a very simple solution, and they are trying it out in North Europe. Universal basic income.
mm,
Now they're gonna have to
When
do that. Like,
Yeah,
if people
but
aren't
that's
working, like, yeah.
yeah, but I also think like that's the future because like if you think about what's gonna happen when all the manual labor has been taken away, it's become roboticized or whatever.
Mm. Yeah.
Universal basic income gives the workers time to study and train so that they can take higher level jobs, right? And
Mm.
they're not worrying because I mean, they know that they're gonna live. They know that they have enough money to buy food and there's like a roof over their heads. And if you look at if you look at history, or like if you just look at the Philippines, what created the economy? They're all entrepreneurs, right? Like people who took risks, built companies and businesses that ended up working. Uh, the problem is that if you fail, most of the time you're left with nothing. So the risk is quite big. If you have universal basic income, it incentivizes people to take more risk because they know that whatever happens, anyway, I have enough money to pay for my apartment and I have food on the table. People
Mm.
take more risks. People try out more stuff, more innovation happens, more production happens. The whole economy kind of grows as a whole. That's my
Mm.
utopian dream. But hey,
you forgot to quote Nassim Taleb in your whole explanation.
yeah, it's not all him. Universal
I know.
basic
I'm just
income.
kidding.
Actually,
No,
he doesn't. I
the
don't.
whole
I haven't.
entrepreneurial thing.
Yeah, no, that's totally his. But universal basic income's always been something it's been on my mind for like 15 years. Like I was
Yeah.
like,
No,
I think this is the way. And then people are like, how are we gonna pay for it?
well,
The
that's
money
one,
goes
and then
no,
and
but
then
it's
the
not
other
even
one
true.
is yeah, I know because you can kind of just make no, but the other one
Yeah,
is
Yeah,
they can just print money.
print
the
your
other
money.
Yeah.
the other counter argument to that is wouldn't people just get lazy? Gonna work, oh, I
And
got enough.
that's
No.
well, but you see, that's not true. Because in the experiments that they've done, that's not what happens.
Mm.
Like
I mean, for sure, there's
humans,
a small percentage that
yeah,
it
there's
happens,
Yeah.
gotta be
but
yeah, there
very
gotta be
small.
like that.
It's probably
Yeah,
okay.
the like, oh yeah, you just drink, smoke all day. But humans have this, like you were saying, like, we've seen people, like, in the worst cases, instead of running away or turning away, we're actually helping. We are volunteering. We're putting ourselves in danger to help other people. There is something about human nature. And the other thing that is quite, I think, inbuilt in us is, like, we have to feel fulfilled. We have to build something. We have to do something that makes us feel fulfilled. So lying on the couch, watching the UFC, drinking a beer every day is gonna get pretty old pretty soon.
I did that once. It felt good.
Yeah, it's funny.
Yeah,
Funny you say that because I watched that podcast with Andrew Yang and Joe Rogan. This was, I want to say, over a year ago, and then they talked about AI and UBI, basically, that, like, when AI hits, like, so many people will be out of jobs that the government will be forced to give UBI.
yeah.
Otherwise, like,
And
well, were those people, like, there'll be civil unrest if you don't give people enough
no,
money to
exactly.
get by.
And anyway, like, dude, if you think about it, what's the point of the pension? It's to make sure you have enough money to live and eat when you retire. But you don't need that anymore if you have UBI. There are so many costs that are going to be cut because you're giving people universal basic income.
Hmm.
And like we said, in the end, the government can afford it because all it just has to do is just print money.
Yeah.
What countries have universal basic income?
They tested it, I think, in a few villages in Norway. Um, and I'm not sure if Sweden tried it. But they did like some small test cases because they wanted
So
to see
no
what.
no country does it, but yeah.
No, wow, I'd
Oh
move
really?
right away.
Well, in New Zealand,
We're
if you
there.
well, I'm kind of living off that, one version of that at the moment. So, like, when I watched that thing with that podcast, and then they talked about AI. I At the time, I was working in corporate insurance. I was doing a lot of medical reviews for them, and I just kind of, like, took a step back and looked at the company, and said that, well, my job at the moment is basically coordinating all the medical informations from the hospitals, the clinics. Once they have a system that they can just get that medical information from directly from a system, from the healthcare system, like, my job's gone.
Yeah.
So, like, yeah, like, not even a month after that, I just handed in my resignation, and then I enrolled to study electrical engineering because I think the future is renewable energy and I want to be involved in that industry. Now, as a student, there's a lot of, like, there's a lot of, like, financial, like, loopholes around it, but basically I'm getting enough,
Yeah,
like,
you have
to
some
pay my
sort
rent.
of.
Yeah,
So
I
wait,
get a
wait.
student
So
allowance.
as a student, as
Yeah,
you
as a
you
student.
didn't get an allowance because you're unemployed.
Yeah, but that's
You
what I'm saying. Like, people will, like, if you take jobs out of people, a portion of them will be lazy and they'll just live off what they can get and just adjust their lives to that. But I think majority of people will seek to find meaning in their lives and, a purpose.
be- become a